this video, I'm going to show you how to write a Band 9 opinion essay for IELTS Writing Task 2. You will learn how to structure your essay, how to use advanced grammar and vocabulary, and more tips and tricks to improve your band score. If you're going to take your IELTS soon, check out my IELTS materials. There, I teach you everything you need to score high. I show you step by step how to give high-scoring answers, and of course we do many practice tests together, so you will feel confident for your test. You can find the link in the description below. And now let's get started. Let's look at the question. As you can see, you have a statement. Some people feel that the government should provide free healthcare for all residents. Then there is a question that says, what is your opinion? After that, the prompt is the same for all IELTS Writing Task 2 questions. You have to give reasons including relevant or related examples that you know about. Plus, you must write over 250 words. So how do you answer a question like this? Remember, there is no right or wrong answer. The IELTS examiner judges how well you address the question. Therefore, start by brainstorming a few ideas. Some IELTS test takers start by writing, but it's better to brainstorm a few notes and organize your thoughts. This ensures that your essay is well structured, which improves your band score. My notes look like this. COVID-19, really expensive for government, preventative care, save money. Your notes are just ideas for yourself. It doesn't matter if they make sense to anyone else. I found I have mixed feelings. The first point is that COVID-19 is a good example. It supports the idea that it's important to stop diseases from spreading, so I feel healthcare is good. The second is that it's really expensive. That's bad. However, I think that preventative care saves money in the long run, since it stops diseases from getting worse. So I think I will agree, but not completely. Actually, I have my own opinion. Preventative care is good, but not full care. I will use that as my idea. Now, it's really easiest to either agree completely or disagree completely, but I want to show an essay that uses both effectively. The main concern with an essay like this is that you must make your opinion clear. One reason IELTS test takers lose points is that they don't say what they think is best. They just give ideas for both sides, but don't say if they like one or the other. Another big problem is that people don't give clear examples and reasons to support their views. You must absolutely do this because the question asks you to do this. I'm going to say that I think partial coverage is good because it stops the spread of diseases like COVID-19. Plus, it saves money. Then I will end by saying it isn't necessary in all cases. It's time to start writing. I use a template because it helps keep my ideas focused. Templates are great because they help you write a high-scoring answer. They give you sentence starters which include great vocabulary and organize your answer. This helps you get a better band score. When writing your answer, you simply write down the sentence starter and then you finish the sentence with ideas of your own that fit the topic you are given. To get all the templates you need, click on the link below and check out my IELTS materials. You can find templates for all IELTS writing tasks there. So for all charts in task 1, such as pie charts, line graphs, diagrams, and so on, and all questions in task 2. For example, agree-disagree questions, advantage-disadvantage questions, and much more. The first thing you have to do is start with an introduction. Write a background statement, that is a sentence that tells the reader what your essay will be about. Make sure you paraphrase the question, so the IELTS examiner can see that you have a wide vocabulary. This will make your band score go up. Let's write this sentence. Many individuals promote the idea of universal healthcare. You can see I changed free healthcare for all residents to a universal healthcare. That shows I'm familiar with the news. I also changed some people to many individuals. Finally, you see that I altered the sentence structure. I say that the people promote the idea instead of some people feel that the government should provide. It's not a long sentence, but it really shows that I understand the question and have an awesome vocabulary and grammar. Make sure you paraphrase in the first sentence, because this gives the IELTS examiner a great impression for your writing. Next, I give my opinion. In my opinion, the government should indeed offer preventative health services at no charge for the patient, but it is too expensive to offer full coverage. My template has the sentence starter, in my opinion. That way, the examiner has no question about what your viewpoint is. It's totally clear that this is your opinion. And this is super important because the question asks you to state your opinion. My opinion is partially agreeing. Indeed shows that I agree. But is an awesome transition that shows that there is a change in tone. It signals that I only agree partway. I add why in the second half of the sentence. It is too expensive to offer full coverage. I could have written two short sentences, but joins the ideas very clearly into one complex sentence. If you use complex sentences, you show the examiner that your English is advanced, and this will make your band score go up. That's enough for the introduction. Let's begin the first body paragraph by indenting. Proper paragraph structure is essential, so don't forget details like this on the IELTS. The primary reason that the government should pay for preventative medicine is to protect the population from large health problems, in particular contagious diseases. The primary reason is part of my template, and it really sets up the idea well. I use a general statement first. In this case, I say that the reason for paying for preventative medicine is to protect the population from large health problems. I decided that the sentence was too vague or general, so I added, in particular, contagious diseases. That shows what I mean, doesn't it? At the same time, it shows I know how to add extra nouns to a sentence that add more information. After I make the general claim, I give my example. Remember, the question asks for you to give specific reasons from your experience, right? So you must absolutely do this if you want to score high. For example, the recent COVID-19 pandemic threatened people around the world, but subsidized healthcare greatly reduced the potential damage. For example is a great linking phrase to show that you're giving an example. It isn't fancy, but it explains exactly what you mean. I decided to use a two-part sentence using but again. The first part shows the problem, the pandemic. The second part shows the benefits of preventative healthcare. However, I don't want to say preventative medicine again and again, so I paraphrase it. I said subsidized healthcare. That shows off my vocabulary. I think another sentence is needed to show how the potential damage was reduced. So I add one more sentence to my example. People from all income brackets were able to get immunizations, and the number of fatalities was far lower than it might have been without such intervention. This is another complex sentence, but it's actually really easy to write. It's just two ideas joined by and. Such intervention is really awesome because it refers to the subsidized healthcare. It links the sentences without repeating the same words. Such is useful that way. I could say such a policy too. That's easier, but it would also be a Band 9 answer. Don't make too many sentences for the example. Let's move on to the conclusion. Hence, the government should ensure that all residents get free vaccinations and other preventative care to reduce the spread of deadly diseases. Hence introduces the result of my argument. I just summarized the main idea again. I used residents instead of people so that my words don't sound too repetitive. Make sure you paraphrase a lot, because this shows the IELTS examiner that you have a broad range of vocabulary, which will improve your score. That's enough for the first point, so we will add the next. Don't forget to indent. By the way, if you want more IELTS writing sample answers, hit the like button and write yes in the comments. If you want something else, tell me your video wish in the comments so I know what you would like to see on this channel. Now, let's continue writing our essay. An additional reason for my stance is that preventative care saves the government a large amount of money. This is a great topic sentence. It was easy to write though, because an additional reason for my stance is part of my template. I just needed to add the reason. Preventative care saves the government a large amount of money. Like I said before, I'm giving two reasons. One is the spread of diseases, and the other is saving money. I put each one in a separate paragraph, so the ideas are very clear and easy to follow. Remember that I made a general statement in the last paragraph, then gave the specific example of COVID-19. I will do the same thing in this paragraph. I now add a specific example. Many diseases, including cancer and diabetes, can be prevented or reduced in severity if they're checked early. I wrote including cancer and diabetes because it's good to give a short example. I also showed that I can use commas correctly when I'm modifying a noun. I used or to join two verbs, can be prevented and can be reduced. The can be is the same, so I didn't repeat it. However, I made sure that reduced had an ed ending to match prevented. It's really important that verbs joined by and or are parallel. That means that they are the same tense. Again, I think that my example needs two sentences. Actually, I do that so that the paragraphs are about the same length too. So let's continue. By conducting screenings, the conditions can be detected and managed rather than become full-blown problems that debilitate the patients. Again, I use the structure can be detected and managed to show that it wasn't an accident. Both need to be past tense. Rather than must join two ideas that are the same tense too. Can is present and represents a possibility. Become is present too, so the sentence is parallel and thus correct. Become isn't a possibility because it's what happens if the action of conducting screenings isn't taken. That's a really complex sentence that will boost my score. Even if you can't construct a sentence like this, that's okay. Use grammar you know well. It's better to make a simpler sentence correct than an incorrect sentence that is harder. That's enough for this example, so let's add the concluding sentence for the paragraph. Accordingly, the government will pay far less if it treats the conditions early before they require expensive surgeries or hospitalizations. I summarize the idea of the paragraph. The government will pay far less. That's a paraphrase of the idea that the government will save money. The topic sentence and concluding sentence are similar ideas, but I don't use the same words. I could easily stop here and add the conclusion, but I want to add one more paragraph to show how you can make a complex opinion essay that differs from an agree-disagree essay. I am bringing up a topic that doesn't actually appear in the question, and that is partial coverage, as opposed to yes or no for paying all healthcare. Remember to indent the first line of a new paragraph. While I agree that preventative care is a vital expense, I hold that the government should not cover all medical costs. This is a really neat contrast because it shows you agree, but only partly. The structure is, while I agree that, I hold that. You may think you can't write a sentence like this. You don't have to. This structure is a sentence starter from my template. You just add the agreeing part. Here this is, preventative care is a vital expense. And then you add your change to it. Here this is, the government should not cover all medical costs. This topic sentence is followed by an example, like we did in the other paragraphs. I used for example before, so I will change the linking phrase to in particular. In particular, I feel that if people get into accidents due to their own lack of responsibility, such as breaking a leg when skiing a slope that is too difficult, they should pay for their own actions. One of my favorite complex sentence structures is an if clause. It shows a possibility that might not happen. It's great for giving examples. In this case, I'm giving the possibility of getting into an accident due to a lack of responsibility. If clauses are awesome because they show the IELTS examiner that you know advanced grammar and so really boost your score. Just be careful about the verb tenses in an if clause and make sure you use the correct ones. We don't want to run out of time, so we will end with a concluding sentence to the paragraph. If everyone had free care, the government would have so many cases that it would go seriously into debt. Again, I'm using an if clause. That's why I use would have so many cases. It's not happening now, just a possibility. I've now shown why I think preventative care is good, but why I think complete care is not necessary. That's a really solid opinion about the idea of universal health care. We end with a concluding paragraph. It doesn't have to be long. Start by indenting the line and stating the problem again. In conclusion, many people claim that the government should grant complete health care for all residents. In conclusion shows the IELTS examiner that you are ending now. Don't give up on writing carefully though. Did you notice I said grant rather than offer or give health care? I continue paraphrasing until the very end. If you paraphrase throughout your entire essay, you demonstrate that you know lots of English words, and this will increase your band score. I also end with my opinion. That way there is no doubt that I have completed the entire task. While I strongly feel that preventative care is necessary, I submit that due to the expense, the government should not be obliged to pay every medical expense. Now the writing is done. It's super important that you go back to proofread to make sure there are no big errors in spelling or grammar. Make sure you replace words that are repeated too often. Also, check the word count. This one is 322 words. That's actually rather long. You don't need to write a whole lot over 250 words. You just have to select the words and ideas carefully so that your idea is really clear. That's it. That's how to write a Band 9 opinion essay in IELTS Writing Task 2. I hope you liked this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe and click the bell icon so you're notified when the next video comes out. Also, share this video with your friends so they can improve their IELTS score too. See you in the next video.